Hello everyone, it's Elaine. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a minute since I recorded a video about new year, new content and all that. So we are going to be jumping into this Valentine's card that I created, and I'm using the Waffle Flower Postage Collage stamps and dies, the originals. I've also got the stencil, the colouring stencil from that collection, along with some other stencils which I will go through as we go through the video. So first of all, I'm popping that card panel cut out with the Waffle Flower collage die. I've used some Copic friendly cardstock. I use a Transo type paper. I will link that down below. It's from Amazon. Pop that into my Misti. This is my new Christmas present. I finally got a new Misti, the full size one. I've had my mini Misti since 2016, so my husband kindly upgraded me to the larger one. I've got a Waffle Flower grip mat in there. That is the 6.5 inch by 8.5 inch if you're interested. And I have positioned my cute Cupids stamps. That is a mama elephant stamp set, and I've positioned them over the openings. I've removed the stencil to pop some masks over the top to cover those off, because I'm going to be doing some ink blending over these images. This is the Eclipse masking paper. It's on a roll, I believe. I've had it a really long time, but I really like it. I'm going to be popping my stencil back in, but before I do that, I'm just wiping off the ink so that I don't smoosh that all over the panel openings. Pop that back in my Misti, and I am now using this MFT Grassy stencil. I'm using my Distress Ink Impaled Paint, and I'm going to be popping a little bit of that over those bottom two left-hand panels. Coming in from the bottom, so we have some slight gradient and a bit of interest to those grassy borders. I'm now going to be going over the whole panel with this pretty pink Posh stencil. I'll have everything listed down below. I can't remember the exact name. I know it's a collection, I think, of 2 stencils in the pack. Really love this one of my absolute favourites. And I really love this grip mat for helping hold those stencils in place. Really helps, especially as my hands are sort of getting a little bit sore. I don't know whether it's an age thing, but I find gripping things really difficult now. So this grip mat is really helpful for that. So I've done the first layer. I used Worn Lipstick Distress Ink for this pink. I really love this Worn lipstick, such a pretty colour. And now I've gone over that with the second stencil. I was using those green lines on the grip mat to help me line everything up. Another really helpful thing about the grip mat. I've pulled off the masks, and we're going to remove that from the grip mat and put the Misti as to one side. I'm going to start on my colouring. I have not coloured as much as I wanted in 2024. It just seemed to be a really busy year. That's why I haven't really even created much content on my social media page. Life just got really busy. My boys are now 10 and 13, so I'm rushing around, looking after them. They're going to bed later as well, which has really impacted on my crafting. And obviously they come first. But it's just meant that by the time it gets to 9 o'clock at night, I am literally ready to hit the sack myself after running around working, doing their clubs, doing food, homework. It's just a lot. But this year, I'm really going to try and carve out some time, even if it's just 15, 20 minutes a day. So I really wanted to try and pick that up and also create some videos. I'm not really too sure what my schedule is going to look like. It really does depend. I can't set a schedule, but I really hope to at least create a couple of videos a month. That's my plan. And because I haven't been crafting that much last year, I have not really been looking after my Copics as well as I should have been. So the reason I'm taking both caps off as I colour is to try and help prevent any ink from spreading out over my work. I'm not really too sure why. I think it's something to do with the pressure in the cabin where it holds the ink. If the pressure builds up or it's uneven on the tips, and the nibs, it can leak out of my work. So I'm trying to take both caps off as I work, and that can help even out the pressure and prevent any ink blobs. This is quite a labour intensive card. Obviously there's a lot of colouring, a lot of steps, and the last thing I want to happen is for my Copic markers to go and ruin all my hard work. As I said, this stamp set is from Mama Elephant. It's called Cute Cupids. I actually don't have that many Valentine's stamp sets actually, but I do really like this one. I think they're really cute, these little images. I love their little wings. I love the colours of Valentine's, and I've also used some of my favourite browns. So I'm going to have all of the colours on screen using the caps. I'm going to try and list them all down in the description below as well. Hopefully I capture everything. As I said, this is quite a lot of colouring. Also using the tip to tip method quite a lot. There's quite a lot of colours here that I don't find blend as easily, especially like the R89 and to the R85. I really struggle to get that one to blend. Even though the R80s are my favourite colours, that R89 I find really intense and it's difficult to blend. So I'm using the tip to tip method quite a lot here. Just using some lighter greys for the bunny and slightly darker greys for the koala, but the same family, the W markers. Using my favourite greens here for the foliage in their hair. These sort of flower crowns, really, really cute. And here I'm using my favourite pinks, my R80s. And you'll see here I'm really trying to blend that R89 in really well. So if anybody has any ideas of what they'd like to see on my channel, I'm really open to trying to create content that you want to see, or any suggestions for my videos. I'm never really sure whether people want to listen to my voice while I'm colouring, or whether you'd rather listen to music. So please let me know in the comments whether you have a preference. Obviously I can't meet everyone's specific needs, but if there's an overwhelming desire for me to not to talk and you to listen to music, then I'm happy to take that on board. Obviously, feel free to skip through the colouring if that isn't something that you want to see. I will do timestamp the video so you can see like the chapters and the times of what's happening at what point in the video. I'm trying not to go outside of that invisible line there. I want to keep the area where the colouring stencil was. There isn't actually a dead cut off line. I'm trying to keep the integrity of that stencil as much as possible. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas break and New Year. Hope everyone is feeling well rested and looking forward to lots of creative time this coming year. I know it's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to, and one of my sort of New Year's resolutions is to try to just create and not make everything have to be perfect. Sometimes I get too bogged down in making everything just so, and sometimes it's just about sitting down creating, and even if there isn't a finished product at the end, I feel so much better if I've just done some colouring or painting or some die cutting. It just really helps to relax me and relax my mind. So that's my New Year's resolution. Just adding on some pinks now for cheeks, and just going to go back and colour the koala's ears. I've noticed that they aren't coloured. I do come back and colour those. I'm adding some black jelly roll pen in, I think it's Glaze black. It's running a bit dry now. I do need to get a new one. You can see I'm trying to get it to work on the side there. Just adding a tiny little bit to the eyes, but it is on my shopping list of things to buy. It's definitely all dried out now. Just going in and colouring the last little bit of this arrow that I forgot. This is my favourite colour for gold. It's E57, Y26 and Y23. I love that for gold accents on coloured images. I find that E57 really helps to make it pop. So I finally finished up with all the colouring. Here you go, my well-loved mini Misti. It's made an appearance and it is very well loved. I've even got the email from when I bought it. That's how I know it was 2016. Taking one of those little sentiments from the stamp set, I thought this was the perfect place for this little sentiment. Love you always. I'm using Lobster ink from Lawn Fawn for this one. I use jet black ink from Lawn Fawn for the outline of the images. A nice Copic friendly ink. So I'm going to stamp that a couple of times. Oh, here we go. This is where I have coloured the koala's ears. R80s, I think I use my lightest shade as RV10. I'm going to move on to my card base now. I am using some red cardstock. I think this is, I'll have it listed down below. It's like a nice deep red cardstock, so anything that's like that in your stash. Perfect. I've cut that out with the Lawn Fawn outside in rectangles, I believe. And now I'm just going to take one of these Waffle Flower dies. This is just white cardstock that I cut. Before Christmas I did a load of die cutting of these panels, and I'm just cutting them slightly smaller, and then I'm going to glue them all over the back and use this as a way to sort of prop up my panel, my large panel. I thought this was the quickest and simplest way to do this, rather than measure all the squares and cut them all out. Adding some more glue on the back of each panel, and I'm going to stick that down to that red card panel. Using some gel pen here. This is a Jelly Roll pen in the medium nib, which I think is a 08. Just adding some accents on the cheeks, some little highlight accents on the hearts and balloons. Using my Aqua Shimmer pen to add some glittery accents to the wings. I'm amazed this still has any liquid in it. It's really old, but these pens do seem to keep going. I'm going to pop that back in my mini Misti now, and I'm going to use the original stamp set that was released to add some postage prices. Using a stamp platform is really helpful for lining everything up and being able to double stamp. This ink pad, it's quite old and I did need to ink it up twice to get a nice impression. It's drying out a little bit, but I like the fact it's not too dark. Sort of helps to blend in with the card and help it look cohesive. Using the Sending Hugs, and I'm going to pop the hearts that come in the set in the middle. And finally, I'm going to add this wavy line. Is it cancellation marks? I did already go ahead and stamp that little hugs inside stamp above the bunny. And now I'm just going to press a bit harder to get that to ink on the card. Taking some more scrap cardstock here. I'm going to pop that behind the full red panel. Again, just to help give some dimension without too much thickness. Sometimes I find foam tape just a little bit too thick. Just lining that up so I've got a nice even border all the way around the edge. I've secured that to a white A2 size card base. And that finishes my project for today. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it gave you some inspiration from your own Valentine's projects this year. I look forward to seeing you back here soon for another card making video. Take care everyone, have a lovely day, bye bye.